Hello, what's up guys, the boss here, welcome to a brand new video here on my channel, and today we're gonna check out the 2.2 update inside of Survival Arena, which just launched here, and it's gonna concern again with rebalancing the towers to optimize the game experience for us. And there were kind of a lot of surprises again in this update. I'm mostly happy with all of the changes. Of course, my baby, which is the Void Raid, got nerfed, which is kind of unfortunate, but it was overpowered. I have to admit that it was just melting down all the boss waves which were coming in. So yeah, it makes sense from a game mechanics perspective. Personally, for me, I'm not that happy about that. But there are other towers which finally can get the opportunity to make a comeback in our loadout. So these two are the Honeygun and the Mortar, which got tremendously nerfed. For example, the Mortar has now a DPS which got tripled, and the Honeygun has a very short reload time, which actually allows us to slow down opponents all the time, which is, I think, awesome. So those two towers get the opportunity, like I said, to make a comeback. Unfortunately, we had to give up some attacking power here from the Void Raid for that, but I can live with that since the Mortar, of course, is a good tower. We loved it also in the past, and now finally we can use it again. And yeah, but these were not the only towers right here, because also there were some other nice towers which got buffed here in the end. For example, we have the Creepy Spikes, which have a DPS of 1400, which looks pretty strong. One of the strongest towers so far here inside of Survival Arena at the moment. And the Lightning Tower, and check out the level, it's just on level 4 and has a DPS of 1000 and a massive range right now with a splash damage of 3 tiles. So this tower looks also very promising. Unfortunately, those two towers are not on a high level personally for me, in considering the level I'm in, the league I'm in, because I'm in League 5. And when I'm having a look at the max level, the maximum level we can achieve, then this looks pretty low actually, because the developers also gave insight into that. So the max level for rare cards is now level 17, for epic cards it's level 14 I think, and for legendary cards it's level 11. And in League 5, for example, you should be playing with the highest towers in order to be successful. And if you look at my loadout here right now, you can see the only tower which is pretty high leveled is the Ice Tower, for example. So yeah, I've chosen this path to be in League 5, but my towers need to be leveled a little bit more in order to make a to really test out the towers for me personally right here to the fullest. But I'm very excited to hop into my second account and try it there out as well, because the last time I played on my second account it went pretty well. I could achieve very high scores with that one, and yeah, I just need to catch up with this account, but of course that's not the topic. Then another significant change which will affect us all is the nerf of the Flamethrower. So you can see the dot damage got decreased a lot, from 3000 I think to 400 for level 10, and also it's not able anymore to attack air units. But it kind of makes sense, because now the crossbow is finally also able again to attack air troops, which is, I think, yeah, from a logical perspective, just logical, I think, because crossbows should be able to target air troops, and that's what it is doing right now. Unfortunately, then there again we had to give up some damage, but that also makes sense since now the air defenses finally start to play a significant role as well here inside of the game, because if the crossbow with its massive damage has more damage than the missile launcher and can target air troops, then we wouldn't use the missile launcher at all. So there were all sorts of changes, and I don't want to summarize everything right now here in this video because it's a lot, but I will post in the description a link which will get you to the Facebook post of the developers, and there everything is outlined properly so that you can create yourself a better picture about what was changed. And also the last thing before we just check out the new towers here, this loadout which I'm having at the moment, is also targeting the troops, and troops got a lot stronger, and I'm super excited to try them out right now here in PvP. For example, here the Bombastic has 2000 health, which appears to me pretty Yeah, a lot actually, because previously it just had 1000, so troops are becoming more significantly, which is also good for PvP. So I like that idea, and I'm gonna try that out as well later on. So that's gonna do it for this short overview about anything. Let me just quickly check my notes if I forgot anything, but it looks like I talked about everything I wanted to talk about, and now let's just check out Sudden Death here together. For the first time, or for the second time, it's my second try in Sudden Death, so after the 2.2 update. So we're gonna start off with the Void Raid, and then you can see as well what the changes did to the Void Raid as well, because the reload time got increased a lot, I'm sorry. And you can see it looks like a machine gun, like an Annihilator, just a little bit slower, where there is no real beam, but it's rather laser shots fired at the troops. So yeah, that's what they did to my baby, the Void Raid, but it still looks pretty effective for me, and we're gonna try to reach a high score here as well. Also, we can see the range of the Mortar got nerfed as well, so it doesn't have this massive range anymore, but still you can see the damage is present, and finally troops will go down to Mortars again, at least for me here in inside of League 5, which was not the case before the this update. Basically I couldn't fight with Mortars at all, it was impossible, and now I can finally see one of my favorite towers making its comeback inside of Survival Arena. So that's a positive thing, and we're just gonna start building up here our maze. I'm sure you know this maze already, I've used it also in my first Sudden Death video. We're just gonna change or we're just gonna substitute in the Void Ray instead of the Ice Tower, and then hopefully we're gonna be able to get here a decent score. But it's pretty hard, like the boss waves right here, you can see they're pretty hard to deal with. But of course also the cannon fire is now doing a lot more damage, so this is also a great help, and we're just gonna continue grinding our way through the waves and hopefully getting a good score in the end. Alright, so what are we gonna do right now? I think we're gonna start creating, finishing up here the maze down here with the gears we're getting before the next mini boss wave is coming in, because the next mini boss wave will probably be again pretty strong, and afterwards, once we complete that, we're also gonna focus here on the honey guns. We'll upgrade them, and you can see they're constantly pumping honey into the arena, and therefore troops are getting affected all the time, which is pretty nice to see. And it's a lot more effective than before, I would say. So that's why I thought the honey guns are gonna have a comeback inside of this update. Of course, share with me your opinions on the honey gun and the Mortar, and also in general all the other towers, because I can only speak right now for League 5, and maybe that might be a bit different for you as well. But yeah, I'm confident that it's actually balanced out a lot more than it was before. So let's start building up some more towers, or am I gonna upgrade here the honey guns? I'm not quite sure yet. I'm just gonna wait to see what the next wave is bringing to us. And our hero is a great help. Of course, you can see the Scarlet Blade. I think the Scarlet Blade is one of the strongest heroes, because she's good in PvP, but also here inside of the arenas. You can see here the huge effect range of our hero, and that's quite interesting. And yeah, so far so good. We were not forced to use our Fury Skull so far, so yeah, I think we're making good progress here. Pyro glasses of course are a hard thing to deal with, but our laser shooting machine guns are still doing a decent job to take them out. So yeah, I'm still quite happy. Let's use here the snowball, place here another Void Ray, and I think now we just need to use our no, we don't need to, because we have the cannon fire, and this should deal with this wave. And now the mini bosses are coming in, and I'm gonna show you, if it works out, how you can create your loop. I'm not quite sure. And one thing I forgot to mention is also that the cost for upgrading got decreased massively, so that's also a step from the developers towards us, so that we can finally start leveling quicker again, which is kind of interesting. And I feel like they anticipated my next step, because in my next video, if this update wouldn't have happened, I would have uploaded a video where I would have shown a trick where you can get massive amounts of sky shards, and I was here too slow. That's kind of unfortunate, but we can still turn this around. Oh, this is actually working better than I thought. Alright, so let's sell these parts. And in a second we should get our snowball again. So we're gonna survive that despite of me being distracted right now. My hero, what are you doing? Perfectly done, and this is how we are going to get into the next wave. So things are still looking pretty nice, and we can keep on upgrading our stuff. Of course we need to use our hero a little bit more often, but back to the topic where I actually what I was about to talk about, because there was a trick. I'm not quite sure if it's still working, a trick to get massive amounts of sky shards in one battle, and I was about to show you that. I'm not quite sure if that's still working. If it's still working, this video will follow up at some point. If it's not working, then no one needs to concern anymore about that. And since of course the upgrading costs got decreased, yeah, it's not that hard anymore to upgrade cards, which is pretty nice, I think. Alright, so far so good. I think we exceeded my old... No, we didn't. So 178 was my old score, and we tried to exceed that right now in this battle. And from this point onwards, we're just gonna use here our Scarlet Blade consistently, just to make sure that we do some additional damage. Don't need to use our Furry Skull that often, because that's of course expensive again. And yeah, that's how we are just gonna try to get further inside of this match. And seriously, I'm very interested in what you think about this update. Of course, it nerfed again some of the towers which we got used to. Personally, for me, for example, I got used to the Flamethrower and the Void Ray a lot. Now the Flamethrower doesn't seem to be that powerful anymore. I haven't tried it out inside of the battle so far, so I cannot fully judge that. But now we of course get a new opportunity, or we can go back to the old ways of playing here, kind of. For example, by using the Mortar and the honey gun, and yeah, that's also a thing which I like. So it's not that huge of a difference. So I think we can easily get used to this update, and yeah, that's, like I said, I think that was a good update, which is finally bringing everything back into order in general. So yeah, I think we created already a loop, which is pretty nice, so we can start upgrading here our honey guns to use the effect a little bit better. And you can see there the heavy soldiers constantly are being affected by that effect, so we're getting a little bit more time by creating here a loop, which is pretty nice. And this means we can go now into wave 14 and see what this is bringing us. A grunt wave. I love grunt waves, as you know. Because now the mortars can shine again inside of this battle, and let's keep on upgrading here stuff and see how that's gonna turn out. We can also use the snowball here when the grunt troops are approaching this area, because then they're all on one spot. We can deal splash damage. I think you know already all that stuff, so I don't need to repeat that often, I think. But anyways, we're still making good progress, and all the troops are taking a lot of damage. That's pretty nice. Let's use the Furry Skull, and oh man, these mortars are going crazy. This is ridiculous how these mortar shots are just annihilating here the grunts. Oh, that would have been insane with the same range we had before this update, but we can't have anything, I guess. At least it looks like that. And I don't necessarily need everything right now, because it's again pretty much better balance, I think. But I think now it's gonna get way harder inside of here. So let's see what we're gonna do next. We're gonna use the Furry Skull again, and maybe we are forced to send those troops back. I don't know, I'm not quite sure. I hope not, because our maze is not long enough to send all of the grunts back, which is kind of sad. Let's use here the snowball yet. And I think now we gotta send those guys back. Oh, now my screen, I was like tapping off too far on the right side and then my screen moved. That's unfortunate. But anyways, that was my second try here inside of sudden death. It feels very good to play this game again, and not that it was like not bad before, but I feel like it's way easier to get used to this update right now than getting used to the 2.1 update, where everything got completely changed, and it took first of all a while to establish new strategies, to get a feeling for the towers, and now I think the feeling is right away established, since the tower, that's the playing behavior is very similar to the previous version. And yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about this update. Personally, I enjoy it very much, and I hope you enjoy it as well. If not, we can also discuss that in the comment section. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, leave this video a thumb up and leave a comment about what your thoughts are, and that's gonna do it for it. Have a great day. Peace out.